You've done this walk before. Suitcase in one hand, half asleep, and the little light on your hotel door just will not turn green. You swipe the card again, flip it around, swipe it again, and somewhere in the back of your mind, did my phone kill this thing? Here's what's actually stranger. That piece of plastic was built from day one to know almost nothing about you.
And that exact design, dumb on purpose, is exactly why two separate teams of strangers, more than a decade apart, worked out how to make it open any door in the building, not just yours. In the next few minutes, we're taking that card apart, layer by layer.
You'll find out exactly what data is on that stripe or chip, and why the version your aunt probably forwarded you is almost entirely wrong. You'll hear the real reason this technology exists at all, which starts with a famous singer, an intruder, and a lock built in a garden shed. You'll see how a lock with zero internet connection still makes the right call in under a second. And halfway through, I'm walking you through two real documented cases, 2012 and 2024, where researchers worked out how to open millions of hotel rooms without ever touching a key card. Some of this comes from a patent filed in 1978. Some comes from Black Hat and DEF CON security disclosures. And the myth-busting comes from 2 decades of fact-checkers actually swiping these cards through readers to see what's really on them. So let's start with the myth.
So what's actually sitting on the card in your wallet right now?
In 2003, at a meeting of fraud detectives in Pasadena, California, an investigator demonstrated something to colleagues. A hotel key card that identity thieves had wiped clean and reprogrammed to secretly carry someone's stolen banking details.
It was a demo of what the stripe was technically capable of holding, not a description of what hotels actually put there. One detective misread that distinction, sent an internal warning treating it as standard hotel practice, and it escaped into a chain email.
That email claims your key card routinely carries your name, your home address, and your credit card number, and that you should make hotels destroy it in front of you. It's been circulating almost unchanged for over 20 years. Fact-checkers have tested this claim for 2 decades. Snopes, Computer World, USA Today, even researchers at Black Hat swiping stacks of used cards through commercial readers.
The result? Every time. A standard key card carries your room number, your stay dates, and an internal guest code that means nothing outside the hotel's own database. No name, no address, no card number. Leave it behind, keep it, hand it back. It genuinely doesn't matter for identity theft.
But if it's not carrying your identity, what exactly is it carrying? And how does a lock with no internet connection know what to do with it in under a second? Your hotel lock almost certainly isn't wired to anything. No Wi-Fi, running on batteries. So how does a lock on the 14th floor know to accept a card that was encoded downstairs 90 seconds ago? Go back to 1974 to a Norwegian engineer named Tor Sornes, who worked at a small factory that made, of all things, locks and ice skates. Sornes heard that the singer Connie Francis had been attacked by an intruder who got into her hotel room using a standard master key. Back then, metal hotel keys often had the hotel's name, address, and room number stamped right onto them. Lose one, and whoever found it knew exactly which door to walk up to. Sornes built a prototype in his garden shed, a recodable plastic card punched with a pattern of holes, giving over 4 billion possible combinations. It launched in 1975, and by 1978, it was installed at the Peachtree Plaza in Atlanta, then the tallest hotel in the world, and one that had been hit by a string of burglaries. That same core idea, a lock that gets a brand new temporary combination for every guest, is still how your keycard works today. The lock doesn't need to call anyone. Because the card carries its own answer with it. At check-in, the front desk writes a fresh, time-limited code onto your card. The lock just checks its own local memory. Does this code match? And are we still inside the valid window?
Most locks also quietly log every time they're opened, and by which key, which is how staff can tell you after the fact whether anyone besides housekeeping went into your room. That local, self-contained system is genuinely clever.
But it runs on two very different physical technologies, depending on what's in your pocket, and only one of them is quietly self-destructing every time you sit on your wallet. Quick gut check. Have you ever blamed your phone for killing your keycard? Here's the split. Older cards use a magnetic stripe, same basic tech as an old credit card, where data is physically written with magnetic particles. Run a strong enough magnet across it, and you scramble the data. Newer cards skip the stripe entirely for a tiny embedded chip and antenna that talk to the lock over radio waves when you tap it. No magnetic data at all, which is the real unglamorous reason the industry has quietly phased out the stripe. Not high-tech ambition. Demagnetized cards were sending guests back to the front desk constantly. So, is your phone actually the culprit? Mostly no. A modern phone's built-in magnets usually aren't strong enough on their own. The real repeat offenders are things you wouldn't suspect. The magnetic clasp on your bag, a second card sitting face-to-face with it in your wallet, or a magnetic phone case pressed against the stripe for hours. Swipe card? Keep the stripe away from other magnets. Tap card? None of this applies to you at all. So hotels moved almost everyone to contactless chips specifically to make this whole category of problem disappear. It worked, right up until contactless became the setup for a completely different problem. Here's the part that turns this from a fun fact into something you'll actually think about the next time you're asleep in a hotel room. In 2012, a 24-year-old Mozilla developer named Cody Brocious stood on stage at Black Hat and demonstrated something that shouldn't have been possible. Millions of hotel locks made by a company called Onity, installed on somewhere between 4 and 5 million doors worldwide, had a small port on the underside, meant for battery backup and staff programming devices. Brocious built a device for under $50, plugged it into that port, and pulled the lock's own encryption key straight out of its memory. His device could then trigger the same open command a real master key would send. No card required, in seconds. It wasn't perfectly reliable at first, but other hackers refined it within weeks. And that fall, hotels in Houston and across Arizona reported break-ins that matched the method exactly, months before a real fix existed. You'd think the industry learned everything it needed to. Notice what made that hack possible, though. A physical weakness in older magnetic stripe era hardware. So the fix was exactly what we just covered. Move everyone to modern contactless chips, which is what makes 2024 so uncomfortable. Independent researchers disclosed a set of flaws they called Unsaflok, this time in contactless chip locks made by Dormakaba, installed on over 3 million doors across more than 13,000 properties in 131 countries. No hidden port, no soldering iron, just one key card from the property, even an expired one pulled from the checkout collection box, read with a cheap card reader or an ordinary NFC-enabled phone. From that single card, researchers could forge a pair of new ones. Tap the first, and it silently rewrites part of the lock's own data. Tap the second, and the door opens. Every room in the building, from 2 pieces of plastic and a phone. They found this at a private hacking event, gave the manufacturer 18 months to work on a fix before going public. And even then, only about a third of the affected locks worldwide had actually been updated. Because fixing it meant new software, sometimes new hardware, and reissuing every card in the building. The exact feature that made contactless chips feel more modern and more secure no visible stripe, nothing to physically wear out, turned out to be precisely what let two people with a phone and a few $100s of gear turn any room in the hotel into their room.
Here's the one thing actually worth remembering out of all of this. Notice that neither of those hacks, not 2012, not 2024, touched the manual hardware on your door. Not the deadbolt, not the swing bar privacy latch bolted into the frame. Every exploit in this video targets the electronic brain of the lock. None of them touch the dumb mechanical backup sitting right next to it. So tonight, or the next time you're in a hotel room, flip the deadbolt, engage the privacy latch every single time you're inside for the night.
2 seconds, no software involved, and it's the one part of hotel room security that neither story in this video ever found a way around. Now, a growing number of hotels have started skipping the card completely and putting your room key directly inside your phone instead. It sounds like the obvious upgrade, except your phone comes with its own attack surface that almost no traveler has ever thought about. That's exactly what's waiting for you in the video right here.